Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nando. It is another beautiful day in South Florida. Blue skies, warm temperatures. You see the three different turf course, Tapeta, and of course our main track. And it's going to be a great day of racing. And what about yesterday? Someone 400 large.
Yeah, congratulations to whoever took it down. The Rainbow Six 407. There was three singles in the finale, and lo and behold, they never got to the winner, and just kind of went all the way around. And I'll tell you what, if you were sitting on about 400,000, oddly enough, you felt in a pretty good spot the entire way because that horse was traveling nicely, and they just never ran him down.
No, it was fantastic. And today we'll have a $100,000 jackpot guarantee, gross guarantee pool, which will start in race number 5. Got to see a couple of really nice horses yesterday with Dean's List and, of course, Emmanuel. So both of those from Todd Pletcher's barn. And it should be, it's just starting here at the Gulfstream at the championship meet. So it takes care of all the early business right now. And Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket, so let's check it out.
I did, $40 play. We're going to, hopefully, I spread in the first race like I did yesterday and didn't have the 45-1 winner. We'll talk about the opener here shortly. A single in race 2, I would think Bronx is going to be a very, very short price in there, maybe even odds on in race 2. So that turns into my best bet of the day after losing my best bet later on in the card, which we'll talk about. There's the spread in race 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, a skew on top for Jack Sisterson, a big angle, maiden special weight dropping into maiden claimers, 4 for 16, 25% for Jack. 2, 6 in race 4, but we'll actually reverse the order. Perfect provision over Halo of Fire. Halo of Fire going to be a very, very short favorite for Wesley Ward and the Hall of Famer John Velasquez, who's here this weekend. And then in race 5, the 1 and the 4. Reverse order again. Number 4, Double Happiness. A little bit of a price with Paco over number 1, Sil Vanilla, with Luis Saez, who's just down here doing his thing again this winter.
He had 3 wins yesterday, and a total of a $40 ticket for Brian, so very affordable. That's right. Let's do the Beat the Expert winners. Congratulations.
Right.
Yeah. And there you see, congratulations, Adrian Sano, Marcus Kaufman, and Ray Sorensen. And Kay will get you next time, size. So don't think you just got it easy. She'll get you next time for sure. Brian will be up next Saturday. And I'm not up. I was opening week, so I got a couple of weeks to worry about it.
You did so well last 2 Saturdays ago. They asked you to host an award show last night. Huh?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. HBP. Florida Horsemen's Benevolence Association. I never could say that right, and I was the host of the thing last night, so shows you how much fun we had there. Congratulations to all those winners up there, out Fox for Belmont. Really nice, and of course they honored, some really nice people. So it was
Steve Dwoskin.
Steve Dwoskin, yeah. He's 47 years he's been training here at Gulfstream. Well, in Florida, put it that way. Okay, the first race, 5.5 furlongs, maiden claiming fillies, 2-year-olds, 12-5. We did have one scratch in here of the 5. Still have a full field of 10. Brian, how'd you go in here? You went with the 6 forged ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the pick 5. It's a spread race for me. No real strong opinion, but Luis Saez is getting on board for Jose Pinchin. This horse showed speed, dueled, kicked clear, and then tired on debut on the Tapeta. We now go to the main track. I think he's going to have a lot of foundation off that race. I like the post, too, as well, Ron. Luis Saez aggressive early, and that gets him a lot of, puts him in a lot of good spots late.
Yeah, and Jose Pinchin, the trainer, he's good with this second start. It's, I think, 20% or something like that. I went with the 2 Island Winter, who you have a little further down, is turning back to the 5.5. After finishing, I thought, a ground-saving third when facing similar quality, going 3/4 for Joe Orsino. Tyler Gaffleone's going to hop aboard. So Island Winter for me. What else did you use? The 9. What about the 9 horse? Tell me about this, Golden Bow.
Yeah, Golden Bow. It's Jack Sisterson, facing better at Churchill Downs in the slop on debut. 13-1 that day. So it took a little bit of money, too. And Jack's not really a guy that's going to crank him up early, broke last of 10. You see the step slow bump. So there was trouble there, too. Didn't do a lot of running. But I think with that start experience behind her, she can move forward here at what could be. Look at the board here, Ronnie. 7-2, 3-1 favorites. So we're shaping up as a good betting race in the opener.
I got a little price horse here I wanted to touch upon, and that's the 11 Mudshaft, who's going to the Matt Williams barn after the claim, removes the blinkers, turns back the 5.5 furlongs after stalking the pace, weakening to finish a distant fourth. That was against this level. going a mile. I think this horse has a chance, maybe not to win it, to be on the ticket today. Race number 2 today, 6 furlongs. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. We both have Bronx on top of our ticket.
Yeah, Bronx moves to my best bet of the day after I scratched later in the card. And just a lot of things point to this horse. Was very fast in his last 2 races, broke through last time, draws perfectly. And you know, the proven runners in here, Ron, I really don't think he's got to be scared of. And obviously the wild card, the danger, and we both are trying to play against Ask for Bodie, who hasn't been out in well over a year. And now was in for 7. I said to Acacia, this horse was running against Gufo.
Yeah, right.
And here he is running 6 on the dirt. So I don't know what you're getting from him. Bronx looks odds on 4 to 5 or so to me in this kind of spot.
You got a stat on Gilberto Zerpa I want to show you. There's a maiden winner last out sprints on the dirt. He's 10 for 31, 32%. He's in the money 55% of the time. 214 is return investment. That's maiden winners last time out. I didn't know what to do with the 2 horse in here, Abar, who handily defeated Bronx when they hooked up at 5 furlongs during September. Going to try and repeat that feat this afternoon after setting the pace and fading to finish 3rd. That was against winners going 6 furlongs. You know, I just don't think this horse is moving in the right direction for me to put it on top. Once Avila has Luca Panici in the saddle.
Yeah, and it looks like Bronx has gotten better since they made a concerted effort to put him in the race early, and that's even more problematic to a bar who's down inside with Bronx to the outside, so I tend to agree with you there.
And the 461 is hoping to find more for the stretch run after stalking the pace, rallying to finish 2nd in front of a bar last time out. So these horses are knocking heads with each other. And I'm with you. I like the recent maiden winner. So let's go to race number 3. We're on the Tapita in race 3. And it's about a mile, 70 yards, maiden claiming fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $16,000. The 3 is going to race without Lasix this afternoon. And you went with the number 3 on top of your ticket, and that's Askew.
Yeah, I mean, the maiden special weight drop is a big one. Out of Churchill Downs, Jack Sisterson brings this one down. Jack told me that he's got 17 down here right now the other day. So 43 to 1 on debut. To me, Ronnie, it just kind of looks like a tightener. Puts Julian Leperoux on. You want a stat here? Julian Leperoux and Jack Sisterson, it's a small sample. They're 4 for 12 with an ROI of 421. So that's a big number. Obviously, to me, there's a lot more intent today than there was on debut.
Yeah, Jack is also 4 for 16, 25% with similar class drops. I did go with the number 5. That's the horse you have in second. That's Jazzy T. He's turning back just a bit to the about mile and 70-yard distance after setting the pace, finishing 2nd. But that was in front of a pair of next out winners, so it turned out to be a good race. That was going about a mile and a 16th for those 12-5 maidens. Rohan Crichton, Tyler Gaffalione handling the jump up to the 16 level, thinking it might be a lateral move in here.
Yeah, this is the house horse, right? I just want to quickly mention Askew, the sire honor code has a solid B rating with Jim Mazur's progressive handicapping too for the Tapita. But back to Jazzy T. I mean, like I said, this is the house horse. He was stalked 2 back. Tried to wire last time. He's in very, very good form. He's proven at the distance, at the trip. And like you said, Ron, I don't really view this as much as a class rise at all. So.
Well, the number 4 Sweet Actor renews the arrival with Jazzy T after stalking throughout and finishing 3rd behind the last time out. Got a stat on Juan C. Avila with synthetics. He's 6 for 35, 17%. He's 40% in the money. 178 is the return of investment. So good numbers with the synthetic surface. So we'll see how that plays out in race number 3. 4th race, we're on the turf at 5 furlongs, maiden special weight, 2-year-olds, no scratches or jockey changes. Brian, you went with the number 6 horse in here, Perfect Provision.
Yeah, you've got Halo of Fire on top. Clearly the horse to beat. I just tried to think outside the box maybe a little bit and try to upset her, and Perfect Provision is drawn outside, and you go back to the dirt sprint, and I thought it was a pretty good effort 2 back, albeit at 7 to 10. She couldn't get the job done. Then she stretches out to a mile last time, so she's going to cut back today. She's going to turf sprint for the first time. Safi doesn't drop her, so he's still got some confidence in this filly. And I think just maybe being outside of Halo of Fire and getting first run on her, too. Oddly enough, Halo of Fire, a Wesley Ward horse that actually doesn't have an abundance of early speed. I think that can help Perfect Provision, too. And she's just going to be a much better price.
Yeah, speaking about the two Halo of Fire, who showed promise sprinting on the Saratoga turf in a career debut, goes back to the grass today, stalked the pace, and finished that, fading fourth. That was going 7 on that sealed sloppy track at Keeneland. I found a stat on Wesley Ward, and this is of dirt to turf sprints right here at Gulfstream Park. He's 6 for 17, 35%. He's in money 71% of the time. 187 is the ROI, so we'll see how that plays out. Going to take all the money, as you said. I had some interest in also the number 7, Biddy Boss, who's the daughter of Street Boss, out of a Kitten's Joy mare, Biddy Kitty, debuting for Brendan Walls. Solid turf breeding on both sides of the family tree. Tyler Gaffney owned rides. Why not? Take a shot with this one.
Yeah, second foal out of the dam, a half sister to a filly that was 3 for 9 that earned $85K. Brendan's solid enough. I think 12% with firsters. I think he probably gets a reputation as much more patient horseman, which I totally agree with. But he's showing here that he can do this, and it's a 350 ROI, and he's got big numbers with Tyler too, 28% down here at Gulfstream Park. So as you mentioned, Ron, don't sleep on this one either.
Yeah, no, it's good. And I just wanted to mention before, I said, going to give the turf a try after rallying to come with a neck of breaking Ramadan on the Tapeta for Ken Sweezy. Has it working consistently up at Palm Meadows. What I liked about this horse, working on the turf. Let's see if that horse can translate those good works for this assignment this afternoon. With that, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket.
The divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Knicks go. Racing, the thunder and the lightning on the track, energy in the stands. Vibe, fashion, entertainment, all for one.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. And the fifth race is going to start the Rainbow Six. It's on the Tapeta, about 1 mile 70 yards. And if you did not join us yesterday, we had someone hit it for $407,000. So we got a $100,000 stake in the pool. Good job by Handicapping, whoever did that. And I want to show you my ticket today, $48.60. I got a single in race number 7. I'm just going with the speed in that race. We'll talk about this fifth in a moment. Race number 6, I went with Peter D, who's going to be a big favorite in there off the 2 wins. Born a Gambler, Steel City Dude. Also have the number 3. Race number 7, as I mentioned, the single today is Cool Quest. Looks to me like the speed of the speed. And I like Julian Leperoux jumping on the board. Lots of scratches in that race, so it sort of made this horse, I think, be maybe get the job done in there. 3 deep in race number 8 with Determined Fury, Zip Line to Heaven, and Adonaut. And then in race number 9, 4, I like Hurricane Hill. That's my long shot today. And then I used the 6 and also the 13. Don't forget the 13 gets in. Louis Sayers will be riding that horse, so make sure you take a second look when you get there. And the last, Poetic Code, Classic Film, and Meccano. Got a single today, Brian. I'm going for it all.
48.60 too.
Yeah.
I think that's the real story.
Yeah, I changed it up a little bit.
Change it up a little bit. I like it. And your single's bold too, because I thought that's a race that could be really problematic in the sequence, and by singling there, you kind of get a leg up on everybody else, because I thought it was a spread race.
Yeah, well, get back to this fifth race. Yeah. It's 1 mile 70 yards. Tapeta, Claimers, fillies and mares 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life. 12-5 down to $10,000, and you starting it off here with the number 4 horse, and that's Double Happiness.
Yeah, I used both the 4 and the 1 to end my early pick 5. This horse, it says 6 wide at the 3/16 pole. There wasn't that much going on in here, and I went back and I wanted to show the replay, and I said, no, there's really nothing here. But I think it's significant that Paco gets aboard, and he's 22% with Mary Epler, and I expect him to try at least to put a little more speed into this daughter of More Than Ready, because she's been dropping out the back, and you're just not going to win turf races or Tapeta races for that matter with that kind of style. So if Paco can get her involved a little bit early on, I think he can move her up.
I went with the horse you have in third on top of my ticket, and that's the number 10, Uptown Queen, who defeated 12-5, 2 lifetime claimers. That was going a mile in the 16th on the Tapeta. That was a couple of starts back. Going to stretch out after responding in the first race after the claim by Cesar Figueroa with that late closing fourth against this same level. But that was going 5.5 furlongs. The barn, very limited sampling, but a good one. 3 for 6, 50% with horses stretching out in distance. You're getting the Minister of Speed, Embassy El Jaramillo, handling the added real estate today.
And this is a barn that, doesn't start a lot of horses, but picks the spots nicely at 4 for 16 on the year. So you got to have high percentage connections. And as you mentioned, Jaramillo getting aboard is a positive too.
The number 1, Sylvanelle, is debuting on the Tapeta today after the consistent turf campaign going a mile versus similar quality. Before going to the bench is back in September for Peter Walder. Louis Saez handling the surface switch today. Louis, another banner day yesterday. Got a little stat we want to show you on the sire, the factor with his progeny, Synthetic Roots, really good. 31 for 132 for that 23% win average.
That's a big number. Yeah. And this is a horse that's drawn well, and I would think, there are other horses in here that have shown speed, but if Luis wants this one on the engine, he can get it done because she's faster than the rest of these. If she breaks running, she could be tough to reel in, Ron.
And what the number? Who else you got?
I got the 9 a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the other. We'll call it the other Peter Walder.
Yeah.
She's got some tactical speed as well, and she's not out of this. Rises in class a little bit, but I thought she ran pretty well to be third last time on the Tapeta.
Shady Lee is stepping up after setting the pace and weakening late. I sort of just wonder if you let her get loose on the lead. Maybe this can be a danger in here. So I threw this a little further down on my ticket, but always that little bit of a speed play for me.
She's been better in 2 starts with the blinkers. There's no doubt about that, and she will be close throughout.
Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon, about 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. These are starter optional claimer 2-year-olds started for $25 or less, or the optional tag of $25,000. And this is where our late pick 5 starts. Just check out your ticket.
Yeah, that's a single here right off the rip, and I think you get value by singling what's going to be a very, very heavy favorite. We'll talk about Peter D in a second. We'll show a replay as well, $27 ticket, 5-7-8 in the race that got blown apart for me because my best bet comes out gangly. The order is actually 5-8-7, front-loaded. You have to use your Cool Quest for sure. I think he's definitely the horse to beat. 2-6 in race 8. I actually have the 6 Richie on top, trying a little bit of a price. Edwin Gonzalez getting aboard after facing better out of town. 1-4-6 in race 9, and Call Kurt, the 1, is my long shot play of the day. 5-1 on the morning line. I had trouble. We like to do 6 and above, but I just couldn't find anything today, Ron. But I like this horse getting back to the turf off a freshener return run after the freshener on dirt last time, and 1-4-5 in the finale. Meccano, the 4, my top pick. Zerpa and Jaramillo. You can't really go wrong with that combo.
Now, we have the same 3 in the last race, and I did use, of course, Peter D's. Like I said when I was going with my Rainbow Six, it looked like they're going to take all the money. I think you got a video you wanted to show?
I do, and there's nothing here other than just to kind of commend and appreciate a really, really good horse that has taken to the Tapeta. Here he is on the outside, the 1 horse, and he's basically just going to loop the field and laugh at him. And a lot of the horses he beat are back in here today, or a few, I should say. And you can just see he's a different horse since they've stretched him out on the Tapeta. The stakes win 2 back, and then he gets to play in this starter optional claimer as well. And he's just, up to this point, Ronnie, he's just better than this group. And anything close to his last 2 is a name to score kind of race again to me today. And you can just see him galloping clear with very, very impressively, just looping the field. And now he's drawn back inside today, and to me, he's going to be really, really tough. I like singling a heavy favorite to kick off a sequence because you get a little more value that way.
And, there's been certain horses at the meet that have just taken to Peter like a horse like Peter D. So in second, I used the number 8 horse, and that's Born a Gambler, who goes to the David Forks barn after the claim, steps up to face winners today. Sort of took the overland route when rallying wide to win his 25 career debut by a hard-fought net. How about David Forks? His barn is 42% on the Tapeta. So I see David, I see Tapeta, I'm jumping in.
Yeah, and I agree too, because David's also got Steel City Dude, who was just drubbed in second by Peter D, and now he claims this one to run in this spot. And I think, you know, the David's penchant for the synthetics for the Tapeta could move this horse forward. Look, see the owner on this? I'm just
Who
our
is it?
buddy Roddy.
Oh, Roddy Valenti.
So-
Yes, they claimed it for that. Yeah.
And Roddy knows what he's doing, and Roddy doesn't typically make claims that can't run. So I expect this horse to move up, and Born a Gambler, to me, is a definite danger if Peter D comes back to the field a little bit.
You know, a horse I believe is third on the line. I did not use. You have a little further down as the number 2 Pharaoh's Prophecy. I want to show you stat with the Mike Maker with the synthetic. Is just the limited sampling so far. He's 2 for 7, 29%. 4 for 7 in the money, 57%. 4-1-4 is what's exciting, the return of investment.
Yeah, we go second off a little bit of a layoff here, and you know this horse tired. He kind of chased a little bit and tired behind Peter D in a few of these. Might move up a little bit. Tyler gets aboard. That's never a bad thing either.
That's for sure. Race number 7 this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs, allowance optional claimers, state bred, 3 and up. And we did have a significant scratches in here, and one I know was your best bet earlier on. We guys scratched the 2, 3, 4, and that 6 gangly.
Yeah, this race at the start of the day or yesterday was loaded with speed. Now we have 4 scratches. There is still a lot of speed in here. Your horse and your single and your rainbow, Cool Quest, did well to draw outside some of it, but there's speed to his outside too. So front loaded, who I do scratch into, is the same premise that Gangly was. He's one of the few horses in here that has shown an ability to come from off the pace. And while Cool Quest might be the speed of the speed, and I agree with that angle that you mentioned, he is going to have to run hard every step of the way. And I'm just going to hope it comes back to front loaded a little bit and he reels him in late.
Well, with Cool Quest, I like to cut back to 5.5 furlongs to get the call. As you mentioned, a field that, you know, has a lot of speed in it, but trainer Brian Lynch, who readied this horse for this assignment with a bullet half-mile drill up at Palm Meadows, reunites the Son of Frost with Julian Leperoux. We've mentioned this many times, maybe a little more in the turf, but if he's on a speed horse and no one goes out and challenges him, or, you know, he gets a nice loping along lead, could be very dangerous. I wanted a single in this spot. I used picking up pennies in second. No slouch really in the pace department. As you mentioned, he's the Son of First Dude. He makes his first start. He reeled off back-to-back sprint victories. Is he going to look Cool Quest in the eye? I'm just thinking Cool Quest might be a little faster.
Yeah, I mean, something's got to give because they're both going to be rolling early and picking up Penny. Safi's got him going really, really good now. Can he answer the class rise?
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon, about 5 on the Tapeta. Claimers, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 35 down to $25,000. Brian, take it away with your number 6 horse in here, and that is who? Let's see.
Richie, which I think is 12 on the morning line. So, you know, I'm going for some value in here. We always print these early, so I don't have it here. Edwin Gonzalez getting aboard, and I think that's a big deal. And, you know, no disrespect to Chananewski, this is a big jock upgrade. And Edwin, you know, has been in very, very good form down here. We're drawn outside. I see the rest of this group, Ron, and I respect Determined Fury for Christoph, but we're going 5. Okay, and he couldn't get there going 6 and 7 in New York, and now we're cutting back going 5 on a horse that's going to get completely run off his feet at a short number. That's not really a recipe for success over this Gulfstream Park turf course, going this short, over the Tapeta, excuse me, going this short. So I'm going to just try to beat him with a price in a horse. If nothing else, he's going to be ahead of him entering the far turn.
Well, the number 2, who you have in second, I have in the top, Determined Fury, is dropping into this 25 non-winners of 2 in life claimer on the Tapeta. Hit the board in 3 or 4 turf sprints at 50 starter allowance runners, as you mentioned, up in Saratoga and Belmont for Christoph. And you get Luis Saez in here. And I just thought if this horse translates, you know, that ability at this level should be very dangerous in here. And I used the number 4, Zip Line to Heaven, which I thought was an interesting runner in here. Turning back, duel for the lead, finished second. That was on the Tapeta up at Presque Isle for Mike Trombetta. Had a nice win yesterday. Chantal Sutherland in the saddle.
And Trombo's 24% on the synthetic, so this is his move. I mean, he knows what he's doing. So this one is a definite player. Probably, I don't know if it's a drop in class because that's a 1X at Presque Isle, but this horse is a player on or near the lead.
And one stat I want to give you here that we dug up for the number 5 horse in here. Where's Joey? This is on the synthetic Steve Caceres. First time synthetic. He's 7 for 21. 33% in the money, 67% of the time. 258 is the return investment. That's a good stat. I got to go back and look at where's Joey.
That's a big number. You know, we've mentioned this several times during the shows. You know, we're all kind of finding our way on the Tapeta, and you get stats like that, and those are big numbers, and you've got to use them because, you know, a lot of these barns are trying to find their footing too. And you look at a guy like Steve, 21 starts. That's a lot. You know, it's not just, you know, 2 for 7 or something like that. It's a sizable stat with a big number. So clearly, Steve's got a handle for it.
Well, let's go to race number 9. What we'll do with race number 9 is go to the turf. It's firm. It's an allowance optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. Optional claiming price $25,000. And we'll start it off. Well, let's start it off with the inside horse in here, and that's who you got the video on, I believe.
Yeah.
Call Kurt.
Call Kurt's my long shot player of the day, 5 to 1. So you're not going to get a huge number on him, but here he is here, okay, and he's you know, engaging with a 50 to 1 on the lead, and that's not a that's not a great thing when you're going 1.5 miles on the turf. And he does get blitzed late by Pillar Mountain, who came back to win. But I thought this was a really, really big effort. He's doing all the dirty work. You know, the 50 to 1 is zapping him late, but here he is dueling with him. He's going to pull clear, and he's just going to get run down by a better horse that was in very, very good form and kind of sat the trip this day too. Now, he hasn't been out since, and then he comes back in November sprinting 6.5 on the dirt, which is, you know, no real chance, and he wasn't in for a tag. So obviously Wansi Avila was just kind of getting a prep for him out of the way. He's got the tightener now. Now we go back to 1 mile on the turf. We're second off the layoff. We don't have to worry about going 1.5 miles either on the turf. I think there's a lot of reason to think Call Kurt runs big today, Ron. In regard, you know, you've got the 4, I've got the 4 in the mix as well. I know Click-a-Tat is favored in here. The margin for error is not a lot, and you're going to get square value on Call Kurt.
Well, talking about the number 4, Hurricane Hill, is returning from the layup and stretching out to the mile today. First start since rallying. He rallied late, and he finished 6th. But that horse that won that race, Rustler, came back and won the Carl Place Stakes up north there in New York. That was going 6.5 furlongs on the Kentucky Downs turf. Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado, found a stat with Bill Mott. Interesting stat, as I thought. Sprint to route on the turf at Gulfstream Park over the past 5 years. He's 6 for 28, 21%, 46% in the money. 277 is the return of investment.
Yeah, this horse comes out of live races, too. You look at this past performances, several repeat winners, next out winners, a much, much better post this time than he had last time, a class drop, I think, as well. Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado, we've talked about it. He is on point so far at the championship meet. There's plenty of reason to like Hurricane Hill.
And, you know, there was scratches in there of the 2, 9, and 14. So the number 13 got in. I want to make sure you know this. That's Ombre, gets in off the AE list, cuts back to the mile, showed some late run when finishing 5th, was beaten 3 lengths against those allowance runners going 9 furlongs up on the Aqueduct turf. But it's Louis Saez. I think this horse might have a shot this afternoon. I wish it was a little longer. Barkley tagged the trainer.
This horse is all right. I mean, he's coming out of races that had some good horses in it. Sifting Sands got really, really good for Chad Brown this summer up at Saratoga. You see he won his next race. It was a stakes race at Saratoga. So, yeah, don't sleep on Ombre, and you're probably going to get a square price too, Ronnie, because he draws in from the AE list. Sometimes those are the forgotten horses.
Well, let's go to the finale here. It's about 1 mile 70 yards in the Tapeta. Maiden claimers, 2-year-old, $16,000. You went with the number 4 horse in here, and that is Meccano, who's stretching out today around 2 turns.
Yeah, I would think Jaramillo is the minister of speed, if I may, is going to put him on the lead, and hopefully that's all there is to it, because I think stretching out, as you alluded to, Ron, going from 5.5 to about 8.5, he's going to have a flow edge here. He should be the controlling speed in this race.
Well, the number 1, Poetic Code, is dropping to the 16 level today after following that second place finish against 20 maidens, 2 starts back, runs 5th. As the tepid favorite going against those 25. That's going 1 mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Antonio Sano, Tyler Gaffleone handling the inside draw this afternoon. Thought this one was a logical contender. On Jim Mays' sire ratings, it is Sire Arnico gets a B+, so that's okay. Pretty good. So should be able to handle the synthetic surface.
And speaking about handling the synthetic surface, Antonio Sano's about 14% with an ROI of about 440 over the Tapeta. So he's another barn barn that's really in tune of what's going on out there. This horse can save all the ground. A huge jock upgrade down inside to Tyler Gaffalione. Definitely the main danger to Meccano.
Well, that wraps up the 10-race card, but we're not done. We have some races and stuff to show you in the lightning round, and we're going to start it off, of course, with our feature event yesterday, and that was the Mr. Prospector Grade 3 event with officiating winning. We're going to just pick up the stretch run and show you this horse winning it, and this one was a scramble. We knew it. I thought that Dennis's moment on the outside looked like he was going to close, but to no avail. And we said this horse is, as far as getting the win column, but the 7 was very impressive for Saffie Joseph Jr.
Yeah, the other Saffie angle strikes again, and I know Acacia interviewed Saffie prior, and he said this horse is probably going to win or not run at all, and he ran very, very well. Did not have a lot of proven fast-track dirt form. We kind of going in knew it was a race that there for the taking if somebody jumps up and runs big, and officiating surely did that.
And we mentioned you a couple of minutes ago, Junior Alvarado is doing a fantastic job. He had 3 wins yesterday. We're going to pick up his final stretch call here, and I think he ran very nice. We Miss Susie wins it in here and closes. And Junior, as you said, he got down here early, and he's really reaping the spoils here. He's getting a lot of wins.
Yeah, and I would think it's only going to bode well for the future, too, because we saw him on a Bill Mott horse today. That's kind of his barn, and he's going to ride a lot of live horses for Bill, and now he's getting the foot in the door of some other barns as well, and he's just been really doing very, very well on all sorts of different surfaces and distances. Really, really on point right now.
And, the beauty of working here at Gulfstream Park, and you folks out there watching, you get to see some really nice horses, and one of those was Emmanuel, who was just so impressive, winning first out for Mr. Todd Pletcher. We're going to show you this really nice performance. Actually got the TDN Rising Star Award for this performance yesterday.
I mean, how could he not? I mean, threw a 22 in 1 second quarter, and he just absolutely buried the field, and he was working in company with the other Todd Firster that won race 4. And we talked about this yesterday, even prior to the races, because that was a very, very live race full of pedigree. Your horse that you like, the half-brother to West Coast, ran very well for Bill Mott to be second. That, to me, yesterday was the first kind of races where the championship meet here kind of flexes its muscles, and that's what it's known for. Soon to be newly minted 3-year-olds that are definitely going places, none more so than Emmanuel.
Well, we're talking about that. We're talking about, we got to also respect our hard-knocking horses from here, and that is Chivalry from Ralph Nick's barn, who went up to Tampa yesterday and won the Marion County. So we just wanted to give some love to these horses that are really, this is a hard-knocking campaign of Chivalry.
These are the day in and day out stakes horses that, fuel racing, and he is such a cool hard knocker, hard trier. He's danced so many dances for Ralph, and here he is getting up in the shadow of the wire, and he just fires and fires, and he's really, those are the type of horses that are really easy to root for.
And one other thing we have, and that is we have this award that they have in racing, and it's the Vox Popular, and it's who's supposed to be the people's horse, and who wins it? Hot Rod Charlie wins it, and, he had a good campaign.
He did have a good campaign. I was there that day. He was winning the Louisiana Derby at Fairgrounds, and and you know what I like about him? He did have a campaign, Ron, and not too many horses in this day and age do have a campaign. He danced a lot of dances. He was a decent enough 4th in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and to me, he could be just a really bigger, stronger, more serious version at 4 than he was at 3, and that'll put him in a lot of big spots.
Yeah, and he was good. He was good in the Kentucky Derby, too.
He was a good 3rd in the Derby.
Yeah, good horse. So congratulations to all those connections. And congratulations to everybody that had a part of our lightning round. And we're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello in just a moment. He'll give you the scratches and changes. And, of course, the one and only Acacia Courtney will be joining us throughout the afternoon.
Absolutely. 10 on tap today. Best of luck, everyone.
Pegasus, the divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Here begins our story of legendary times, the rarefied air when the stakes are high. Like the moment when you feel the vibe, the thunder and the lightning on the track, the energy in the stands, like music moving through your soul, shaking your hips, making you dance. The stars come out in the magic city. For Pegasus they stay, dressed in designers' newest finds, wishing all days could be like this. A moment in the sun, where everything is divine. Racing, vibe, fashion, entertainment. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Nick. Knicks go. Pharrell Williams at the finish line. Lenny Kravitz rocks the runway. Snoop Dogg making it rain. A Jennifer Lopez family affair. Vin Diesel found out that cars aren't the only thing that are fast and furious. This runway on the rail. Post Malone on the mic. Mark Ronson on the ones and twos. Alec